All right. Hi, everyone. Today is either Wednesday, November 4th or Thursday, November 5th, depending on if you're an A-Day student or a B-Day student. Okay. So we are going to look at your assignment. It's called Part A in this video. Okay. So the first six slides are going to look the same as the other assignment, depending on if you're Monday or Tuesday right now. But the video lessons are different. Okay, Mondays is different than Tuesdays. You won't really be able to tell until I start going over the assignment. Okay, so happy November. I hope you had a good couple of days off. You need to be sure you're bringing your book to class from now on. If for some reason you don't have a book, never fear. I went ahead and posted the PDF book of Before We Were Free. Okay, so it's the digital version. So if you go to important info, it's the first thing listed here. PDF book of Before We Were Free. Okay, so remember that. Okay, so why are you watching an Edpuzzle right now? Well, only a few students are watching their video lessons. Oh no. So I am giving you direct instruction through your video lessons. I'm going over content and a whole bunch of important stuff you need to know. So if you're not watching it, that's a big problem. So from now on, I'm going to give you a grade for watching the video lessons, and you're going to have to watch an Edpuzzle every day. You have to watch it to the end, and then you get to answer a question at the very end to get credit. Okay? All right. So here's your assignments for Wednesday and Thursday, or a little note about it, rather. So A-Day students are going to complete their assignments on opposite days than B-Day students, at least for this week. So, if you're at home, what you're doing is different than the kids that are in person. And then when we flip the next day, they're going to do what you did at home and you're going to do what they did in person while you're in class. Okay, so just a heads up in case you text your friend and they're doing something completely different than you are. Okay, that's why. So when you see BWWF, that is just an abbreviation for Before We Were Free. Okay, so at the end of this video, I am going to ask you a question about BWWF, which means Before We Were Free. So remember this, okay? All right, so we're going to go over the directions for Part A of Before We Were Free inferences. So what is an inference? Well, an inference is a conclusion reached on the basis of evidence and reasoning. So in other words, it's an educated guess. All right. So you are going to be answering 4 questions where you have to use inferences to answer them. The first one here says, why do you think Julia Alvarez wrote this novel? What could have been her purpose in producing this piece? What evidence led you to this prediction? So you cannot just write about why you think she wrote this novel. Okay, so we're asking you all this other stuff in the question. So you need to say why you think she wrote it, what her purpose could have been in producing it, and you need to say what evidence led you to this prediction. Okay, it's not you don't answer one part, you got to answer all the parts to the question. The second question asks you what potential themes do you think Alvarez might focus on in this novel? You should have a pretty good idea from our class discussion so far as to how to answer this. Okay, but remember, a theme is the message the author is trying to convey, to tell you, or it's the message or the lesson that she's trying to give you or teach you, or it could be the moral of the story. Okay, so those are themes. Third question. Who do you think the main character is in this novel? Or who do you think it's going to be? Okay, what can you predict about him or her? And what evidence led you to this prediction? So if you did your assignment from Monday and Tuesday, you should already know the answer to this as to who the main character is, because it was in that assignment, okay? But if you didn't do the assignment, then you can just make an inference based on what you know. So look at the book that you're holding in your hand and give me a prediction, okay? So do you just say the person's name, who's going to be the main character? No. You have to predict stuff about this person. You need to identify the person, and you need to say what evidence led you to that prediction. So the fourth question here, where do you think this novel is going to take place? You have to be more specific than just saying a country and a year. Okay, because we already know this. We already have a good understanding of where the book may take place in the year based on the assignment from Monday and Tuesday. But tell me, what kind of neighborhood or area do you think the main character will be in? Okay, so what evidence led you to this prediction? So I don't want you looking at it at a large scope, like, hey, this book takes place in the Dominican Republic, for example. Okay, I want you to say what kind of neighborhood and location you think the character will be in and why you think that. What kind of understanding or gist are you getting? And tell me what led you to believe that, okay? But that's it. So for your question now, as soon as I ask it, it's going to pause and let you answer the question, okay? What does BBWF stand for? What is it an abbreviation for? Okay, you should know this.